So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna do a quick flow, and I'll break down a couple of the main postures and also a way to transition through safely. Listen to your body, listen to your breath, and just follow along the best you can. It's the best that we're here all together, virtually or not, but I'm glad to be able to practice with you. So we'll begin sitting in a comfortable seat, closing the eyes. Maybe you sit crisscross, maybe you sit on the knees, whatever feels comfortable to you. We'll stack the spine long, begin to roll the shoulders up, back, down, away from the ears. So the heart is vulnerable, the core is strong, the crown of the head is lengthening towards the ceiling. Just taking a moment to close the eyes, relax the tension in the jaw. We'll begin to deepen the breath, taking the fullest, richest inhale through the nose. And take a cleansing exhale, release out of the mouth. Inhale fully through the nose, feel the chest rise. Cleansing exhale, loud ha sound. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. This time, pause at the top, contract the belly. We'll transition the exhale through the nose for 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in, inhale. Pause at the top, contract the belly, transition, exhale through the nose. Inhale, fill the body up. Exhale, let it go. Just continuing these rounds of breath on your own. We use your inhale to lift, to create space, to move. Use the exhale to deepen, fall in, ground. Inhale. Exhale. Deep breath in. A long breath out. From here, we'll gently just make our way to tabletop position. So allow the shoulders to stack over the wrist, the hips over the knees. We'll begin that cat-cow movement. So with your inhale, you'll send the heart through, shoulders roll back, tailbone lifts. Exhale, send the spine high, press into the mat, bring the chin towards the chest. So just wave-like motions with the breath. Inhale, heart comes through, the shoulders roll back, tailbone lifts. Make sure you ground the tops of the feet, the shins into the mat. Exhale, send the spine high, press into the mat, coil into the shoulders, chin in towards the chest. Breathe in. Breathe out. So maybe finding some organic movements while you're here, swaying into the hips, working into the shoulders, just depending on how the body feels today, moving into your space. And maybe send the hips back towards the heels, even the arms out long. Full breath in, full breath out. From here, we'll come back to our neutral tabletop position. Plant the hands down. We're going to work into our first downward facing dog. So we spread the fingers wide. We're working most of the pressure into the L pads of the fingers, and then also the outside edges of the pinkies. It's going to create this hollowing in the hands, and it's almost as if we're suctioning the mat. So we're going to tuck into the toes, pull the belly into the spine, coil into the shoulders with your exhale, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So it might be the first downward facing dog of the day, of the year, of the month, of your life. It's fine. Just bend into the knees. That is another thing. If you've never done yoga, it's okay to bend the knees. It's okay to keep the knees bent. Just remember that anytime you're moving. So we're grounding the hands down. We're going to allow the heart to melt through We're going to gaze through the thighs, allow the head to hang heavy. So find movement into the hamstrings, into the hips, into the shoulders. It might take a couple rounds of this for you to be able to find stillness in the posture. So we're pressing into the mat, shoulders are rolling up towards the ears, and then we find that open back, down and away. Hips are high, if the hamstrings are tight, keep the knees slightly bent. Allow the gaze to come through the thighs. Take a full body inhale. A long body exhale. From here, bring the gaze through the hands. Come high to the toes and tiptoe the feet up. We'll find that ragdoll fold at the top of the mat. So when I say that, we're going to keep the knees slightly bent and the weight is evenly distributed throughout the feet. We'll grab the opposite elbows and allow the belly to drape over the thighs. So we're going to find that gentle sway left and right. This is going to begin to release the tension in the back body and the hamstrings, but mostly allow the head to hang heavy, let go of the neck. Allow the weight to maybe come a little bit into the ball mounds of the feet. Inhale a breath. Exhale, release the hands to the mat. Inhale, we lengthen, lift, flat back. Exhale and fold. So just as if you were waking up out of bed in the morning super grumpy, just begin to make your way up to standing. With your inhale, we're going to stack one vertebrae at a time, allowing your head to be the last to rise. And when you get to the top of the mat, we'll find mountain pose. So we're going to bring the feet parallel, rooting down evenly. Again, notice if the weight is more in the ball mounds or more in the heels. We're going to lift the toes up. We're going to ground the pinky toes, the big toes, and then all of the middle toes. That should engage this quadricep, or these quadriceps. You should feel this internal rotation through them. Building engagement through the outside shins. Allow the heart to lengthen. The core is strong, so drop the tailbone. The palms can face forward. Just take a moment to close the eyes. Just feeling strong, sturdy, and allowing the crown of the head to lengthen towards the ceiling. Pull the jawline back. Mountain pose. Take a deep breath in. Take a long breath out. We'll gently open the eyes if they're not there. With your inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Reach up, look up. With your exhale, fold. So we keep the deep knee bend if the hamstrings are tight. With your inhale, halfway lift, find length. Flat back, bring the hands to the shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find length, lift. Exhale, fold. On your inhale, bring the arms out and up, coming all the way up to standing. Core strong, all the way to the top. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. And then by your side for mountain pose. Inhale, arms sweep out and up, reach up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, find length halfway, flat back, bring the hands to the knees. Exhale, fold, plant the hands down, step the right foot back, and then the left foot back, come into plank pose. So we have plank pose and we have modified plank. So obviously dropping the knees down, it will modify this. When we modify, we can still make this a strong plank that's gonna get us to that strength of full plank. So we'll press into the mat, we're gonna coil into the shoulders and pull the belly button to the spine. Draw the chin line back, untuck the toes, we'll shift the weight forward, lower all the way down to the belly. So when we lower down, the elbows will draw back. We'll bring the forehead down, untuck the toes, set up for baby cobra. So before we move, draw the shoulders back, squeeze the elbows in, the tops of the feet ground into the mat. With your inhale, peel the chest up, and then allow the gaze to come out last. We don't want to lift with the gaze. If we lift with the gaze, we begin to come like this. So we pull through the heart, and we allow the gaze to come up. Breathe in, lift. Exhale, forehead will come down. Tuck through the toes. Press through tabletop, send the hips back towards the heels. Child's pose. Child's pose is available to you anytime throughout the practice to transition through, to come back to. So the forehead will come down, the arms out long. If you have any tension or it's a little more difficult to you and you do have a set of blocks or maybe even books, child's pose can be a little bit more comfortable if you bring the blocks out in front of you. Allow the forehead to just come down, relaxing the tension in the neck. From here, breathe in, breathe out. Slowly we'll begin to make our way back up through tabletop position. Tuck into the toes, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale. From here, bring the gaze through the hands, tiptoe the feet up, finding that ragdoll fold. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. With your inhale, the arms sweep out and up, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands through heart center. And by your side for mountain pose. Breathe in. And breathe out. Just make your way to the top of the mat. Bring the hands together at heart center. We're just going to work our way through warrior 1, warrior 2, and warrior 3. Giving you a little bit more cueing so you understand how to get there, the alignment, and the safest way to transition out of it. So just making your way to your mountain pose. You can bring the hands together at heart center. Take a full body inhale. Take a long body exhale. So we'll ground down through the left foot. We're going to take a large step back with the right. When we get here, we're going to bring the foot out so as if both feet are on a railroad track alignment versus a balance beam. So we're going to have the hips a little bit open, and then we want to have a 45-degree angle in that back foot so we can root down evenly. You can begin to square off the hips towards the front of the room. Deep bend into the front knee with your inhale, sweep the arms high, warrior 1. So it's almost like a high lunge, but we have that back foot rooted. When you do get here, notice where the weight is in the feet. Are we mostly in the back? Are we mostly in the front? Are we leaning forwards? Are we leaning backwards? We want the shoulders to saturate over the hips. We want to pull into the core, engage the inner thighs. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, come back to center. With your exhale, we're going to just step that right foot back up to meet the left. Exhale, hands to heart center. By your side for mountain pose. Full breath in. Full breath out. Finding a flow through this, just finding a way. This is a new way to transition. Inhale, sweep the arms high. With your exhale, we fold. Inhale, find length. Exhale, plant the hands down. Everyone step back to plank. So we hold plank strong, press into the mat, coil into the shoulders. Shifting the weight over the wrist, lower halfway down, elbows squeeze back. Inhale, tops the feet, press into the mat, shoulders roll back, upward facing dog. So the knees should be lifted. If not, just soften the knees if there's too much pressure. And then open up through the collarbones. And then transitioning back, tuck into the toes, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So that's your second way you can transition through. Showing you some ways as we work through some cueing of postures. So full breath in, full breath out. So warrior 2, inhale, we're going to sweep the left leg high. And then exhale, we're going to step that foot all the way through to the top of the mat. And as many steps as it takes, if you end up back here, lift that foot up and bring it all the way through. This time, we're going to drop the back foot down at a 90-degree angle, so it should be parallel to the outside edge of your mat. And then also, we're going to be on that balance beam alignment this time. So we want the heel to heel or heel to inner foot alignment. And then we're going to send that right arm forward. We're going to send the left arm back. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to cartwheel open, and this time the hips open up towards the right side of the room, and we're finding that deep bend into the front knee. So this is a warrior 2 posture, It's, again, just like a lunge, but here we're opening up the hips towards the side, rooting down through that back foot, 90-degree angle, and we're deep bend into the front knee, squaring hips off towards the side room. Shoulders again are stacked right over the hips. Extend the arms out long and the gaze will come over the front middle finger. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale, inhale. With your exhale, cartwheel the hands down. We're going to pivot that back foot. We're going to bring that left foot back, be in downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. From here, bring the gaze through the hands. Come high to the toes, tiptoe the feet up, find that fold at the top of the mat. We inhale, lengthen at the top. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands through heart center. And by your side for mountain pose. All right, so we'll come back to the top of the mat, and we're just gonna work through warrior 3 and then one last transition. And then the opposite side, we'll do it a little bit faster, showing you how you can usually transition through these poses, and maybe you can speed it up on the opposite side. So we're gonna ground down through the left foot. We're gonna bring the hands together at heart center. We're gonna draw the right knee into the chest, squaring off the hips, rooting down evenly. We're gonna send that foot forward first, and then we're gonna use the weight of that foot, extending it back, flexing the toes towards the mat and allowing the heart to lengthen. We're working for a uppercase T in the body. So rooting down evenly, gaze is high, the heart is lifting, the core is strong. You can stay here, you can extend the arms out long. Knowing also, even if you're here and you have the hips squared, you have a long spine, gentle neck, you're in the posture. Full breath in, full breath out. Slowly begin to release yourself back up to mountain pose. Bring the hands by the sides, pedal it out in the legs. Let it all go. Full breath in, the full breath out. All right, so we'll come back to center, back to mountain pose, and then we'll transition, and then we'll do the opposite side just a little bit faster. So with your inhale, sweep the arms out and up, reach up and look up. With your exhale, we fold. Inhale, we find length halfway. With your exhale, if you have the strength in your body to land with your elbows bent to transition through your chaturanga, we're going to plant the hands down. A slight bend in the knees is going to allow us to jump back, bending with, or dropping with the elbows bent, and then we transition upward facing dog, tops of the feet press into the mat, shoulders roll back, and then with your exhale, downward facing dog. Full body inhale, and a full body exhale. All right, so we're gonna work warrior 1 on the opposite side. So with your inhale, we're gonna sweep the right leg high. Exhale, step the foot through. This foot down in the back is gonna be that 45-degree angle on the railroad track alignment. So rooting down to rise up. Inhale, square the hips off. Sink deep into the front knee. Roll the shoulders up, back and away. Breathe in. And then a transition, open up. So we're gonna find that wider stance between the legs, that 90-degree angle, and that back foot. And then we're opening up the hips towards the left side this time. Deep bend into the front knee. Shoulders are stacked right over the hips. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. With your exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Pivot onto the back foot. We're going to bring that right foot into neutral. Bring that left leg high. Bring the hands together to heart center. Warrior 3. Lifted leg is strong and flexed. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slowly from here, begin to make your way up. finding your mountain pose. Bring the hands together, or bring the hands by your side. Come back to center. Alright guys, so I just gave you a little rundown. I showed you how to transition through most vinyasa classes, how to modify. I showed you the Warrior 1, Warrior 2, Warrior 3 pose. On the right side, or on the left side, I'm sorry, I was showing you all of the alignment cues, and then on the opposite side, I was showing you a little faster version of it. So if you just wanted to maybe flip-flop it for each side so you can get a little bit more engagement. I hope you guys enjoy, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment below.